being a recovering people pleaser as a protective mechanism, I know that very well. Um, and this is going to sound too simple as an answer, but I know you got it. You have to name your needs. We can't read your mind. We can't read your mind. I'm sorry. We go through life pretending that people can read our minds. We go through life pretending that our friends, family, the people closest to us, they know me. They have to read my mind. But unfortunately, everyone, to some degree, they are at war with themselves and they're not in their bodies enough to have this empathetic resonance with the rest of the world, you know? So it really robs them of the capacity to feel with you, you know? So we have to name our feelings. And there may be like, um, 3 to 5 people in your life that you could really have that conversation with, but start with one. Start with one and have the really hard conversation to say, hey, I need this from our friendship. I need this from our love. I need this from our connection. And it's hard conversations. I have a discipline of having hard conversations with my friends. Not because I like conflict, because I like intimacy. I love intimacy. I want to feel connected to people. I want to know them intimately, and I want them to know me intimately too. So I think make a list. Well, loneliness is an invisible illness, I believe. And I say illness as just to bring contrast and be bold about it. And because it's invisible, we may look at each other on the street and never know that this person is doesn't have the core, doesn't have the friends, doesn't have the support. So knowing you and knowing all the things you've done, you are an amazing human being. It is a blessing to be your friend. And I don't say this lightly. It is a blessing to be your friend. Let me say it right here. It is a blessing to be your friend. Okay? Literally, I'm looking at this little green dot, hoping that you can see my eyes directly at you. It is a blessing to be your friend. You have so much to offer, so much to offer. It is like, oh my goodness. It literally approach it from that perspective. Don't get into the God complex, but a little bit, turn up the heat. Turn up the heat. In Buddhism, there's this thing called sacred pride. And we practice this in our somatic movement practice. Exactly. The sacred pride is what we need, is we need to know that we are that like we need to have the self-confidence about what we bring to people, places, and spaces. Like we need to know that we have this um as we're practicing becoming a blessing. People can feel it, and they may want to get close to you, but you are holding back. you know I think naming what you need is a great practice, naming to the people in your life that you love, and seeing how they, and then there's the harder part, seeing if they can meet you there. However, remember that everyone shows love in different ways. Like my dad put together this bookshelves, this entire wall frames, this massive quilt behind me that you guys can't even see. Like, he helped me put this whole apartment together. Did he say I love you once during the entire weekend? No. Did all I want was I love you? Yes. But could I settle for these acts of service? Yes. Did I feel love after the fact, after I had gone through my own story of what love sounds like, what love should be like? After I've gone through that process, then I came down and I was like, oh, this is love. Because this is hard work to do. So they may not meet you in the ways that you want, you know, a head massage, a foot massage, perhaps. I don't know. A walk in a park, going to the movies together, holding hand. I don't know. But we have to be the ones that are uncomfortable, meaning we have to be the ones that are naming the things that we want. And then what you're going to see is beautiful. You're going to open the door for them to be vulnerable too. And that is such a precious thing, for them to name to you what they need from you. Then you're in a dance of intimacy. And this goes to everybody. Like every question that we've had here, it is personal because it's universal, as Mark Nepo, the great poet, says. It addresses us all who are holding back. But I say 3 to 5 people perhaps. Start with one person. Who's that one person in all of your life, in all of our lives, who we're not naming how I wish I could be cared for? Who we're not naming our need for connection in a very specific way. I have a need. Can we talk on the phone once a week? Or can we go to lunch once a week? Is that okay? You're gonna be surprised. You're like, oh my God, I would love that. Hey, I will pick the restaurant for this one, and the next week you pick. Okay, great. Okay, great. Let's do that. You know, and then
Yeah.
it begins. The process begins.